All right. You ready to go?
Right on. Yeah, sure.
Awesome. So first up, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what your level is, and and a little bit maybe about how you got into Go?
Sure. My name's Jim Seibert. I I tried to teach myself Go in the late 1980s when I was an undergraduate in college. Um, and yeah, at the time, this was before the internet. And so I had a book and I saw a couple guys playing Go in a game store when I was shopping for D&D dice, I think, at the time. um, and yeah, and on kind of at the same day, first time I saw it, I bought a cloth roll-up board and some stones and a book, and tried to teach myself and tried to get some of my friends to play too. Um, but we all didn't know what we were doing, so we did not get any better. Um, and then I kind of didn't play. I was aware of it, but that didn't play for the better part of 35 years, I guess. And then just started again recently, a few years ago. Picked it back up, found the Denver Danger Monkey Go Club, and started getting a little bit better. I'm now in the low double digit Q range, probably 11 or 12 Q.
Oh. When you started, did you start on like the 19x19 or the 9x9?
I jumped right into the 19x19 because I didn't know any better.
Do you still think that's a good place to start, or do you think you would teach people on an 9x9?
I don't know. I mean, it's such a different game. I actually struggle a lot on the 9x9 now. But I do think like learning on the 9x9 really helps you figure out like shapes and how not to get captured, how not to get chased to the edge of the board on the second line and things like that.
So what is it about Go that gets you, that kind of entices you to play? Because I'm sure like as a D&D player, you probably also have played other board games and other tabletop games. What is it that made you like Go, even though it's a little bit of like a side quest of Dungeons and Dragons, like of tabletop, it's a little bit of a little bit sideways, I guess.
Yeah.
So what made you go that direction?
I played a lot more Go than Dungeons and Dragons lifetime total, I would say. I probably haven't played Dungeons and Dragons since I was an undergraduate. Nothing against Dungeons and Dragons, mind you, but no, I am a college math professor, and so kind of the pure distilled strategy of Go appeals to me, and I really like the kind of the balance between the artistic side and the logic side of my brain, getting to use kind of both aspects, and yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, I have heard that a lot of analytical minds really click with Go because of the analysis and the pattern recognition and all that stuff.
Yeah, I find learning Go. I mean, I think learning Go is a lot like learning math, but I'm a math professor, so I would say that.
Yeah, I had a lot more fun doing Go puzzles than math questions, math homework.
Yeah, maybe that's true, but like math, like the way to get good at Go is to play a lot of Go.
Yeah, I may have cheated my way through high school. So because I didn't get it, but I knew if I looked at the back of the book, I would get an A. Therefore,
yes,
I had my priorities. I had my priorities in a different direction.
Yeah,
But yeah, I did notice like as I got stronger at Go, I started thinking back a little bit on my math classes. I'm like, I bet you this is why they tell you to do those math equations at the back of the book over and over and over and over and over, is because of the pattern recognitions.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and when you're learning Go, there's plenty of memorization of Joseki's and
Hmm.
like, oh, I recognize that trouble trouble coming.
Yeah. Speaking of that, how do you? I know you mentioned you go to a local club. Is that correct?
Yeah, Danger Monkey Go Club in Denver.
You know, we should have more Go clubs named like that.
Yeah.
How do you usually practice Go, and how do you study?
Well, that's a good question. I don't play enough. That's why I'm still 12Q, I think, or 11Q. I mostly play live at the Go Club, so like 1 or 2 games a week.
Mhm.
I don't play a whole lot online. I have been, I guess I've been playing correspondence games and Baduk Pop. Um,
Mhm.
and those have been mostly 13 by 13 games, actually.
Mhm.
Um, and then actually because I won the U.S. Open, I won a gift certificate to Juan Guo's Internet Go School,
Mhm.
um, and so I've been playing and doing a lot of that, doing like 20 problems in there every morning.
Okay,
Um,
so Go problems every morning, 2 games a week.
yeah, about that.
Okay,
Sometimes a little more. Yeah.
yeah, but that's about how 7 by students go.
Yeah.
um, so online though, you mostly just play correspondence.
Um, I'm not playing a whole lot online. Um, I'd like to, but finding the time and motivation, it's a lot easier when I can see my opponent's face, I think.
Yeah, I think Go is a big social game. It's
Yeah.
really nice to be able to like talk to a person instead of the computer monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I've always preferred Go in person. It's just to practice, we always have to go online, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, that's so easy. You can just find a game instantly online, pretty much. So,
So let's talk a little bit about your tournament experience.
yeah.
What was this your first Go Congress?
It was the first time I competed in the Open. So I commuted when it was in Estes Park a couple of years ago. Um, I I commuted and drove up and saw some lectures, but I didn't really engage with the full
Mhm.
Go Congress experience, I guess. So this was the first time that I like stayed in a hotel nearby and competed in the U.S. Open and kind of fully immersed myself in the experience.
Nice. So this is your second time at Congress, is that correct?
Uh,
First time
well,
competing, is that correct?
first time, yeah, first time competing in the Open. I had only been like for a couple of days when it was up in Estes Park, so I don't know if that really counts as as a full experience.
Well, a lot of people can't go at
But
all for even one day, so I think it counts. I think
there you go. Well,
you met hundreds of Go players, even if it was only for a day or two.
yeah, that's true.
I think
That's true.
just I don't know something about Go cars. I come back afterwards. I'm like, maybe I can just study 10 times as hard as I normally do, and that lasts about 2 weeks. And you're like, okay, I need to balance my life a little bit more.
That's right. Actually, have a day job. It turns out.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
So, how did you feel going into the tournament? Were you feeling like that you had a good chance to win, or how were you feeling about it?
Oh no, I was totally surprised. I had no idea. So I went in without an AGA rating and just kind of placed myself, guessed that I was around 14, 15Q.
Mhm.
And it turns out that wasn't that far off. Because I played against, yeah, I played against 11 through 15 Qs, and I didn't think I was going to win. I just was there for the experience.
Mhm.
Um, and then I won the first game, and was like, wow, that was fun. um, and then I horribly lost the second game. Oh, the second game was terrible. I played so badly. Um, and so I thought, okay, well, at least I won one game. And then yeah, and then came back and won 3 straight to finish it off. So ended up winning 4 out of 5 games, and they gave me a trophy or a plaque anyway.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, I was probably the most surprised. Yeah.
Did you do any like prep work for Go Congress or for the tournament?
I mean, I watched some of your videos. I watched some Dwyron videos. I
Well,
watched
see,
some
that's why
Nick's
you
and
won
Mickey
right there.
shows. What's that?
That's why you won right there. You watched my videos, like obviously.
There we go. Yes, yes. I did like, yeah, do a few extra puzzles that those days, and trying to, in the days leading up to that, um trying to be ready as ready as I could be. And then yeah, and it was a really fun experience. And the first game was especially interesting because not only was it my first game playing at the Open, but my opponent was blind.
Oh yes, you mentioned this. I actually wanted to ask about this. How was that?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, he had a plastic board that had a raised grid on it,
Mm-hmm.
and then plastic stones that would snap onto the grid in place. And the black stones had a dot on top, and the white stones didn't. So he could play by feel. Um,
Was
and
it?
we didn't have to worry.
Did it interrupt your reading at all, having his hands over the board, or how did you feel about that?
No, it didn't. I mean, no, and most of the time he just put his hands on the board when it was his turn, I think. And
Mhm.
um and not all the time. It was, yeah, it wasn't that distracting, I didn't think. um
Yeah, I've
but
actually
yeah,
I've never had the experience of playing a blind person. I always found it fascinating. I've played blind
yeah,
Go, but I've never played with the tactile
right,
pieces with an actual blind person.
yeah.
It makes me. Do you know if they were? Do you know if they turned blind or had they like always been blind? Or better, let me reword that. Did they become blind after knowing how to play Go, or did they learn how to play Go after they were blind?
I I remember talking to him about it. I remember it was Corey was his name. I remember
Mm.
talking to Corey about it. But I don't remember the answer, I'm afraid. I I think I think he was blind before he learned how to play Go. I think he was maybe blind his whole life.
I think that's even
Um,
more impressive.
yeah, but I couldn't say for sure. Um,
Did you try to place the pieces with your hands too, and just try to get the just to feel a little bit, see if you could see what they're seeing?
Absolutely not. I was terrified enough in my first Open game.
I think it would have been
Just
curious to be like, what does it feel like? What does this dead group feel
right,
like?
yeah, to feel the board instead of to look at it,
I've actually
or to feel the board and just see if you could tell
mm,
where the pieces were.
I've actually never had one of those, but I've always wanted to like play someone blindfolded and just we both have to use the pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something I got to try. I'm not sure if they have that in the special events room or not. Do you recall?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I never saw it except when I was playing Corey or when I saw
Right,
somebody
right.
else.
I know they have. I know they have Crazy Go. They have 13 by 13. They have Blitz. They have a lot of stuff. It's so many
Yeah,
things. It's hard to know all of
yeah, yeah, that's for sure. Um,
them. Was there a particular strategy or play style that you think helped you succeed in your games?
um, well, I'll tell you what I think helped me the most. It was patience. Um, Corey was not super young. He was, I don't know how old Corey was, late 20s, early 30s, maybe. Um, and the game that I lost, my opponent was also a little bit older. Um, but the last 3 games, I think one of the main reasons I won is because I was willing to use my full 90-minute clock.
Hmm.
And my opponents were very impatient. um, and so, like, I would take 5 minutes to decide where I was going to go, and my opponent would immediately place a stone and then start tapping their fingers and wait for me to play while I sat and thought for another 5 minutes. So
Trying to think in a thinking game? Who would have thought?
I know, yeah. Um, I did. So I did get lucky. You didn't have a couple of very impatient opponents. But um,
So
let's see. Other
patience.
than that, I was trying to play. I was trying to play as simple and conservative as I could, kind of corner sides middle. Um,
Mhm.
but I don't know how successful I was at that. Certainly wasn't in the second game. That's for sure.
Would you say that you are a more territorial player than an influence player?
um, I was. I think I was in the. Um, I was in the open games. I think. Um, but I don't. In general, I don't know. I go back and forth somewhat, I guess. I've definitely played. I've definitely won a lot of games being more influence oriented, where I let my opponent live small on the sides
Mm-hmm.
and build a big area in the middle. But I think in general, I'm more likely to try to build something on the sides and
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, be more territorial that way.
So, aside from the tournament, what was some of your favorite parts about the Go Commerce event?
Um, yeah, well, I mean, one of my favorite things was that the food in Portland was excellent. um, there were some. I was a really good ramen shop right between
Ooh, ramen.
the
Ramen's
Congress
good.
and my hotel, so that made me happy. Um, but let's see other things. The simul game I played against a pro. Oops, and now you're going to ask me who I played, and I don't remember her name.
Stephanie
But
Yen?
what was that?
Stephanie Yen?
It wasn't Stephanie. It was a Japanese player, a Japanese woman. Um, um, but I don't remember her name. I would have to look it up. I'm afraid.
They change them every year. That's the problem.
Yeah, there were quite a few. Like you could choose from quite a few,
Mhm.
and yeah, she had a double-digit Q simul game and was very helpful and friendly. And her English wasn't great, but she was learning. and but yeah, she was very helpful and like yeah, it was a fun game to play and um,
Did you take handicap?
uh, yes, but not very many stones. I think uh yeah, I mean it was you basically you can take whatever handicap you want. And so
Mm.
I think I put a few stones out, but not too many. Um and then just kind of let her uh show me what she wanted to show me basically.
She just
um
gets to do what she wants on the board. That's how it works being a pro.
that's how it works when you're playing a professional anyway, when you're a double digit Q. So um yes, and we played. She said I played a great opening, which was nice to hear from a pro. And then she invaded and created a big dragon. And then every time I played away, she would say, "No, you have to keep attacking." And so she kind of taught me how to kill the dragon that she created.
Nice. Was that during the game or after in the review?
A little bit of both. A
Like, no, no,
little bit
no.
of
The
both.
game will end too quickly if you go away. Just keep attacking.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Yeah, but then we played out pretty full game, and then because she kept like showing me or yeah, giving me suggestions of like, oh, you don't want to move there, you want to think about this area, and then
Mm.
she would go around again and come back and I would have made a move and she said, yes, that's where you were supposed to go. Okay. And then yes, and then at the end she's like, well, I resign because you killed the dragon.
Oh, nice,
Okay. Yeah.
nice. That's fun. Uh,
Yeah.
were you able to meet professionals and have like conversations aside from just the simul?
Um, I didn't. I didn't talk to too many folks. I did go to all of the what the Go Education series. So I did talk to what's his name,
Myung
Young
Kim?
Won,
Yeah,
yeah,
Myung
Young
Kim.
Won Kim a little bit. Like he led some of those sessions. Um, uh, yeah, so I mean, I didn't talk a whole lot one on one with any of the pros, but I did talk to a lot of other other players about my level and a bit stronger. And yeah, it was fun.
So you said you attended Myung lectures, is that correct?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
did you feel about the lectures? Was it like easy to
Uh,
follow, a lot of fun?
yeah. They were. I think I was expecting more because I got a certificate that says I can teach Go now, as a result of going to those lectures. But I feel like I learned just they were less about teaching Go and they were more just about like, um, use your strength to attack instead of to build
Mm-hmm.
territory and things like that. So it was a lot more about improving my own Go game than it was really about uh,
Mm-hmm.
teaching. At least Myungwon Kim's lectures were mostly that way, I thought.
So are you referring to the teacher's workshop?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Was so how many different lectures did you have to go to for the teacher's workshop?
Um, I don't. I think you could miss one and still get the certificate, but I went to
Mm-hmm.
all of them. Um, so I think there were, would that have been 6 of them? Yeah.
How was your experience with the teacher's workshop? Did you find it like really helpful, a lot of fun?
Yeah, I think I I liked different parts of it for different reasons. I think
Mm-hmm.
the first day there was, I can't remember his name, but he came in and he had a guest, somebody that had never played Go before and never seen Go before, and he kind of went through how he would introduce them to Go and basically convince them that they already knew the rules of Go, um, which was an interesting approach, one that I wouldn't have thought of. But yeah, he put a stone on the board and said, "Capture that stone," and then with no other instructions. It's like, interesting. Okay,
What would you
but
say the most helpful advice you got from the teacher's workshop is? Or one of the things that resonated with you the most?
yeah, I mean, it might have been that. I think that idea of teaching somebody by showing them that they already kind of know the rules, or at least they can, that the rules are natural enough that they can think of them on their own with very little nudging.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, I thought that was a kind of a powerful way to teach somebody. Um,
Nice.
yeah, yeah,
Circling back around, back to the tournament stuff.
sure.
Uh, did you feel so? You don't play online a lot aside from the correspondence of Medic Pop. But
Yeah,
how did it feel playing at Go Congress in a tournament versus playing like you normally do at Go Club?
yeah. I mean, I had never recorded one of my games where I was playing face to face and recorded it at the same time. So that was another thing that I had to juggle and do for the first time when I was playing my tournament games. Um, I liked it a lot. I mean, I really liked the 90-minute clock. I was happy to sit there and think and use my clock and um, I think the first game I played, we were both in Byoyomi at the end of our 90-minute clocks. Um, and I think in the rest of my games, a couple of them ended with an early resignation, but um, most of the games that went deep, I was close to my time. I think I only got to Byoyomi, I think, in the first game, but I was close to using my full clock in uh, several of the games, and I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed sometimes when I'm playing face to face without a clock. I worry about taking too much time because annoying my
Mm-hmm.
playing partner that they want to get on and finish the game or whatever. But when I have a clock, like that's permission.
You take as long as you want.
Yeah, I mean, up to 90 minutes and then 30 seconds at a time after that. But yeah.
Wow, that's
um,
surprising. I feel like
yeah.
a lot of people would be intimidated by the 90 minutes. Just it's so.
I,
I think for a lot of people, it can be just like so much time.
it's a lot of time. um, yeah, but like I said, I took it as permission to sit and think as long as I wanted,
Mm.
basically. And
Yeah, I
um,
think you're one of the abnormal DDK players because I think almost all of them will finish within an hour.
yeah,
Versus
yeah,
both sides clock times would be like 3 hours plus. I think most of them are done within an hour.
yeah, yeah. Yes, I was often one of the last ones in the room.
But hey, that's if that's what it takes to win. That's what it takes to win, right?
I mean, apparently, yeah, it served me well, I guess.
um,
Although
go.
taking 90 minutes and taking my full 90-minute clock, and I'm still a double-digit Q. But anyway,
Nah, I think you're doing fine.
yeah.
I think if it just spending more time on your move and ranked you up, I think that would be a little too easy. You
Well,
gotta.
yes,
I think
yeah,
there's something to be said for playing a lot of games and practicing. Even if of course, we should spend as much time as we can, or
yeah,
reasonable amount of time. But I think if it was only spending time, I don't think it'd be as interesting.
right, yeah,
I think,
yes. No, the way I need to get better is to play a lot more games, and
yeah, I
someday I'll
always tell my
find.
students the biggest weakness to a DDK is the lack of experience.
Yeah.
But now that you've won the DDK section, what are your next goals? Are you planning to win the single digit Q next year or this year? I guess.
Well, I don't think I'll be. I don't think I'll be a single-digit Q by July. I have played a couple of rated tournaments in Colorado since then, and I did not win either of them. So I'm the national champion double-digit Q 11 to 15, but I am not the Colorado champion. um, but had some fun games there too. But yeah. Yeah. So my next goal, like I would really love to improve and start and work towards single digit Q. Um, we'll see. Maybe I'm. It's hard for me to find time, especially during the semester. But there are
Yeah.
a couple months between the end of the semester and July when I might be able to find some more time to play. So
But
we'll
yeah,
see.
do a 2 month single digit Q grind.
There we go. I could try.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Why not,
Yeah.
right? What advice would you give to other double digit Q players who want to improve and potentially win tournaments in their division?
Mm. Um, yeah, play more, um, play more Go than I do, and yeah, and I guess especially in the open, be patient, and don't be afraid to use your clock.
If you, and this is kind of a bonus question, if you could
Yeah.
play a game against any professional player, who would it be?
Um, I mean, wouldn't it be cool if I could break Shinjin Seo's 18 game winning streak or something like that? It's like, uh, um, I don't know. I mean, any player living or dead, or
Sure, any player living or dead, any historical Go player. What do you think?
oh, I would. I mean, to sit across the board from Go Sagan would be just amazing. Um,
I
sure, why
agree. I
not?
honestly, I would just like to be in the room with Go Sagan talking about Go.
Absolutely,
Like,
yes.
even if I couldn't play him, just hearing him talk about the game must have been very fascinating.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Um,
are you a big Go Sagan fan?
um, I mean, as much as any other professional Go player, I suppose. I mean, I'm I I don't watch a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of familiar with Lee Sedol because of the AlphaGo documentary,
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and I just happened to have happened to know that Shinjin Seo is the number one player in the world right now and has been for a while. So um, I'm honestly, I'm not sure I could name another professional Go player. Oh yes, I could. Michael Redmond. There we go.
Yeah, that's an important one.
Yeah. Um, who else could I name? Who was Shinjin Seo's opponent? It was Deng or something from. Yeah, it was Deng from China, but Keje I could name
Kuche.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kuche, Park Jawan, Shin Jiso, Lee
Park Jung.
Sedol, Lee
Yeah.
Chonko.
Lee Chung. Yeah. Oh.
Then if we go even further back, we got Go Sagan, Dosaku, Shuzaku.
Oh yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
there's a lot, and then even then, there's probably a lot that I know that I just can't think of off the top of my head.
Right.
There's so many
Sure.
like amazing Go players out there. I think.
Yeah.
Do you have
Yeah.
any books or Go books of pro players?
I have I have a few. I have like graded Go problems for beginners, a couple of different ones. I have what other books do I have? Yeah, Making Good Shape.
What would be your favorite book?
Um, I, probably Making Good Shape, I think.
Would you be interested, wrapping it up, would you be interested in answering questions from the audience? Got a couple of people.
Is there an audience? Sure, I'll
A
answer
small
questions
one.
from an audience.
Small
Hi,
one.
audience.
Someone wanted to know, what is your OGS handle, and would you be willing to play correspondence on OGS?
My OGS handle is the same as my Discord handle. It is the Algebraist.
Algebraist. How do you spell that?
Yeah, with a the in front of it. So it's
The Algebraist.
Yes, the Algebraist. Very pretentious. Yeah, TheAlgebraist. Yeah.
Someone asked, what makes for a good teaching game? What do you think makes a good teaching game?
Boy, I played a really good teaching game against Jason at the Danger Monkey Go Club a couple weeks ago, and he just did a really great job of kind of every move I made. He wanted to know why I made it, and sometimes it was obvious, and I had the right reason, and sometimes he's like, "Well, did you think about this and this and this?" And I learned so much from that game.
So just talking like
So
theories.
what's that?
So like talking theories about like what the move does, what it doesn't
Yeah,
do.
why did you make that move? Why did you choose that variation of the Joseki? I was actually really proud of myself because I chose the the double Hane variation of the 3/3 invasion Joseki because I wanted to force him to have the Panuki on the side where he was cramped, and he's like, "Oh, that's why you did that? Oh, that was really good." I'm like, yes, okay. And then then I made another move that was just aimless, and I saw him building a big territory and didn't want him to have it, and so placed a stone in there kind of randomly, and he talked about better ways I could accomplish the same thing, and what I was giving up by playing that move instead of other moves. So
So
yeah,
you say a good teaching game is just going over the whys for each move?
yeah. At least I enjoyed that teaching game greatly. Jason, if you're watching, anytime you want a teaching game with me, let me know.
Someone asked, what is your favorite theorem?
Oh, my favorite theorem? That would be Hilbert's Nullstellensatz.
I'm surprised you can even say that. Because I could not repeat what you just said.
This is an algebraic geometry theorem. It is the correspondence between ideals and points in the real complex or in the complex plane. Yes. Um,
I like Go.
yes.
This is what we sound like when a chess player walks in the room. Probably. I have no idea what you just said.
Yes.
That's cool though. You can. I kind of hear the your tone go up when you're talking about math, though. You can kind of hear how much you love math.
I do enjoy it. I think I picked the right career for myself.
That's always good. It doesn't have to be the best career as long as it's the right one for you.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
any final thoughts or comments that you would like to say?
Um, no, just I look forward to maybe I'll see you at the Go Congress.
Yes, my wife and I both plan to be attending this year. So yeah, that'll be
Yeah,
awesome.
my current plan is to attend, so hopefully we'll make that happen.
Yeah, we'll make
Yeah,
it happen. We'll make it happen. We're all going to be there. We're all going to be showing up. Everyone needs to come and say hi, and yeah, that'll be great.
absolutely. Yeah,
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking the time for this interview and sharing your feelings, thoughts, and experiences.
yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I'll let you go. But yeah, thank you so much again, and great interview. And I'll hopefully see you at Congress.
All right. Thanks. Nice to meet you, Sean.
Nice to meet you.
Yep.